Hey, today we're doing a bit of a different thing. We're gonna do a landing page review. So Jonas plays your landing page or something like that. Unfortunately, this submission was an iOS game, so I couldn't play it because I don't have an iOS device. I'm so sorry. But I think the landing page is also pretty interesting. We have a trailer that we can watch and review. But there's already a lot to learn from this because I think this is a pretty good landing page. This is something I will have to do for my own game somewhere in the future, you know. I can look at this as some sort of an example. I think it's really cool. It looks very minimalistic. It has a very nice looking text at the top. Accelebot looks really cool, looks really fun. There's something wrong with this word. An okay-ish under the tagline, whatever. Then a link to the press kit. What happens when I click on be a beta tester? It just scrolls me down. Okay, I see. So that's fine as well. Then here, the first thing you promote, that's probably your main feature. So your main feature is no more unresponsive touchscreen D-pads. So you control your little character by tilting the device. Yeah, sure. What's a bit weird about this picture is the person holding this device is playing in portrait mode. So it's holding the device vertically, not horizontally. But the trailer is horizontal. So can you play both ways? Can you play vertical and horizontal? That would be interesting. And then you can jump by tapping on the screen. So I think that's a good idea. Probably a good control scheme. If you execute this correctly, this will probably feel quite good. Probably a nice main feature. Also like the art style. Explore levels and secrets at your own pace. No auto run or timer mechanics to worry about. So yeah, that's cool. Then here you write a little bit about yourself and we can drop our name and our email if we want to know when this game is out. In your mail you wrote, landing page has been up for about 5 days. You have only promoted it on Reddit so far and asked for feedback in the game staff Reddit, I guess. And so far you already 11 people subscribed. Did I get that right? That's actually pretty impressive. So what I would do if I were you is trying to start finding the correct people, not necessarily game devs, but people who would be interested in your game and trying to get them to your landing page. Look for people who play mobile games on the internet, look for them on Reddit, look for them on Facebook, look for them on Twitter, look for them everywhere and try to send them to your landing page. You can either try to do that by a general post like, hey, this is my game, this is what's special about it, this is what's interesting about this, that's why you might enjoy it, check out my landing page. So that's one way to do it, or maybe an even more effective way to go about it is trying to find people who talk about games that are very similar to your game. Try to find a couple of mobile games that are very similar to your game and that are popular enough. Search for it. Whoever talks about that game, just send them a personal message, something like, hey, I saw you liked this and this game. I saw you talk about that. Maybe you're interested in my game. Check it out here. And doing personal messages like that sounds like a lot of work, yes, but I think it can also convert very, very well, because if you get a personalized message and somebody reacts to something you did and you find people who are really interested in your kind of game, it's not really advertisement, it's more or less just doing them a favor, showing them something that they might like. I think it takes a lot of work to get people to your landing page, but do whatever you can. Use social media to its fullest. As I've said, search for similar games, search for mobile games, and just try to find people that play this kind of game. Try to find out where they hang out and direct them here, because I think this is probably a pretty well converting landing page. If it's only been up for 5 days and you have only posted about it a couple of times and it already has 11 subscribers, it's probably a pretty well converting landing page. I think you did a great job. First of all, you introduced the game here with trailer, with everything. You introduced the core feature, what makes your game special, why it's so cool. And then down here you even have a little text about yourself, which makes people trust you. And trust is obviously really important if you want to try to get people's information and email. They won't give you your email address if they don't trust you. So just writing a little bit about yourself definitely helps to make people trust you. Oh, and you also have a Twitter. Is that correct? Yeah, you have. Oh, that's cool. Why didn't you send me in your email? You also have a really friendly face, so why not put that on your landing page as well, right next to your description of yourself? I think that will help too, to build some trust. Why not put that on there? So what's a really popular mobile platformer? I don't know. Rayman Classic. Maybe that's a good idea to start with. I can see exactly who writes about Rayman. And then you can just tweet at them, or you can send them a PM and tell them about your game one by one. I think that's a very effective way. It takes a lot of work, but I also think it converts really well and it gets the correct people to your landing page. Then obviously you can also check out the Twitter pages of similar games, and then you can look who comments under these posts. And maybe those people are interested in your game as well. You know, just use every strategy you can to find people who might be interested in your game. Tell them about your game. At first it's a lot of hard work, and hopefully as soon as you reach some sort of critical mass, people will start finding your game by themselves. But obviously, don't know how likely that is, honestly, because there's so many games are uploaded to the Play Store every single day. I think it's about 500 games every day or something crazy like that. Yeah, so don't be surprised if you have to go the extra mile just to get people to your landing page. There's no better time, no better age for this than this awesome social media age where you can just search for everything and use every strategy at your disposal to find people who are interested in your game. So that's awesome. And I think it's probably a very well converting landing page that we can all learn from. Now let's have a look at your trailer. I think so far it's very interesting. It builds a lot of tension. We have this cute little robot here, and then suddenly all those robots here are turned on and start moving towards us, and we're wondering, what is this game all about? What is this game? It doesn't look like a standard platformer at the moment. That gets me very intrigued. I'm definitely curious what happens next. So that's awesome. Also, one thing you saw right here, I don't know if that's in the game, is that the robot can move backward. So probably if you're not moving too fast, it just keeps going backwards. And then once your speed starts getting a lot higher, it right flips. So that's what I assume happens in the game as well. So far so good. Now this is where, I don't know, the tension for me just drops a bit, because this really interesting pile of robots here is apparently just a bunch of enemies stacked on top of each other, and then we leave them and we never see them again in this trailer, which leaves me a bit unsatisfied, because this pile of robots I think is really interesting. I don't think the way the player interacts with this pile of robots is interesting. Just jumps on top, pretty standard platformer stuff, and kills some of them, and then we also don't see them again. So maybe firstly we rethink how the player interacts with this pile of robots, or what's interesting about it. I think this has a lot more potential, but I don't know if I can give you any specific tips how you could fix that. And also maybe just show this pile of robots again in your trailer. Maybe this could be a reoccurring theme. You know, this is something that creates a lot of tension, a lot of curiosity. The resolution, how you resolve that tension, just feels a bit unsatisfying to me. It's just, okay, maybe not as dangerous as it looks. They're just standing there doing absolutely nothing. I can just jump on top of them. They're not dangerous at all. Ha ha ha, let's continue going. Maybe if you show this at the end of the trailer, maybe if you resolve this tension at the end of the trailer, it won't feel this satisfying, but explore dynamic terrain? What do you mean by that? That you move on physics-based blocks? That's a bit of a fancy word then for physics-based blocks that you can move on. So, I don't know. Also, I think this weird metal right here and some of the graphics cannot keep up with the awesome standards you set at the beginning. So this right here looks absolutely fabulous, absolutely awesome. This right here and this right here, those weird edges at the top, can't quite keep up, doesn't look all that awesome. I'm very sorry. Traditional platforming, so far so good. But what I'm wondering about is, what about your core feature? What about your core feature right here? I mean, that is your core feature, isn't it? That's the first thing you promote on your landing page. Why is that not in the trailer? It should be traditional platforming and then something like no more unresponsive touchscreen D-pads or something like that. Just think about what makes your game special and promote your game based on that. Also, let me say, I'm not happy with the jump animation because there is no jump animation. What I would expect is that when this robot jumps, maybe his feet move down a little, so you can see that he actually jumps. It looks really weird if he jumps just like that, just a block like blue. I think the feet need to go down to propel him upwards or something like that. Jumping is your core mechanic. I think putting a little bit of work into making your jump look good, probably a good idea. Also die multiple times as a feature. What an amazing feature. That's not a feature. Don't promote die multiple times. I don't know. No. Why? Also, multi-checkpoint system. Yeah, can be a plus. I don't really know what that means, but just the fact that there are multiple checkpoints in your game is probably a plus for a lot of people, because people don't like replaying the same shit over and over again. And usually checkpoints mean that you don't have to replay the entire level. Beautiful cave foliage. I mean, by now I probably get that you're not really serious, that this is just a joke. This grass and this mushroom right here, very beautiful cave foliage. Yeah, this is a bit of a dangerous joke because it's very at the edge. I think not everybody will get that you're being sarcastic here. And if people think you're real, then yeah, that doesn't really make a good impression. Also, yeah, really just the cave looks shit compared to this right here. This looks awesome. This has some texture, the ground to it. This looks nice. Cave looks pretty boring. Doesn't look like a lot of effort and love went into this, if you know what I mean. Can you add X feature? Why aren't you making an Android version? Oh yeah, that's another thing that's kind of missing from your landing page. The actual platforms you're gonna release the game on, that's pretty interesting. Just put that somewhere and don't hide this information. Just tell everybody upfront, this is an iOS game. I don't know which game engine you use. If you use Unity, then you could probably pretty easily make an Android version as well. Shouldn't take that long, 1 week max. If you're using a different game engine, I don't know. But might be something to consider. Yeah. Okay. Couple of funny quotes at the end. You can probably do that. I'm not sure if it helps your cause, but yeah, why not? I don't see anything that speaks against it. Once again, really like your logo, Accelebot, pretty cool. So this just keeps going for the end of the video. Pretty long outro. So there's something wrong with this word. What is wrong with this word? I have no idea. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good landing page. You did a pretty good job there. I hope this helped you out a bit. I would definitely work on the trailer a little bit, on your cave graphics, on this weird iron plates. And yeah, then I'm really sad that this pile of robots is just doesn't play that big of a role. And here, once again, you can see a cool pile of robots that also doesn't really play a big role, I guess. Yeah, So actually, if this looks like a game you would like to play, check out the landing page and leave your email there. Then you will probably get notified. One thing to consider when you make a landing page like this is not everybody who leaves his name and his email there will convert to a player. I would guess it's about 50% if you're lucky, because a lot of people just skip the mails or they read them and then 10 minutes later they already have forgotten about your game again. We did an email list for one of our games, and I think not even 20% maybe downloaded the game. Most of them didn't react to our email at all, so that's just something to consider. One thing that can go terribly wrong if you're not careful is that you land in people's spam filter. If that happens, then pretty much all of your work has been for nothing, because then they will never read it. Pretty much game over. But nonetheless, having a landing page like this is pretty cool. Let's have a look at your press kit. I'm actually pretty interested in that. Oh, it's download. Maybe that scares some people off. Would be cool if you could have some screenshots that you could see online if you click on press kit, and some text that you can see online without downloading it. Obviously having a download is probably nice as well, but would be cool if when I press on press kit I can see some stuff right away without having to download anything. That would be cool. Yeah, pretty solid landing page. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. Hope this was helpful. Make the world your playground. And see you in the next one.